Are you going at 23 first or George Pickens and a 23 second?
23 first. Scott, the correct answer is 23 first, Scott.
Let's say it's you're projecting it late.
How late?
109.
George Pickens. No, that's incorrect. I'm sorry. 23 first still.
I think it's closer than what you want to think, because I think there's a chance you can get more. I'm just saying that if you're just going based on the market.
Well, I'm looking at this from the perspective of I'm the 23 first holder, right? I'm not giving that up to get George Pickens.
I don't. It's hard for me to do that, but I can see where you could talk yourself into if you're the person giving up the late first and you're getting a piece back.
Definitely. And if you're trading George Pickens, that's what it should be. You should be getting a 23 first plus at this point. Look, I tweeted out 2 weeks ago that if you weren't trying to trade George Pickens for a 23 first, that you're not good at this. Facts on the ground have changed. He's worth even more now. You need to get a 23 first plus for him, and you will get it. And if you don't, whatever, hold on to him. It's fine.
So would you spend a 24 first, a 25 first, and some warm body receiver for George Pickens?
24 first?
You're asking 25s are not. It's not a real year yet.
It's Shane's favorite year.
I don't even.
Everybody who watches our live stream know that it's Shane's favorite.
I don't even understand the question because of 2025. But
20.
I'm offended by the premise. I'm not giving up 2 first rounders. I don't care what the year is for George Pickens.
Interesting. So you basically say 2025s are meaningless, but then you'll stick to you're not giving up 2. I think the biggest barrier is you probably have to pay for 3 years if you make that
exactly.
trade. That's the biggest barrier. It's not about if you really wanted George Pickens, that's a prohibitive price.
George Pickens or Courtland Sutton?
Sutton.
No, I'll take George Pickens. I hate Courtland Sutton with a passion. You've seen Courtland Sutton's ceiling, and it was wide receiver 20. Is that what it was?
I think we haven't seen Courtland Sutton's ceiling, because as soon as he starts playing this year, the ceiling is going to go even higher. Even if he's not producing higher than that ceiling, the value is going to be there.
I don't know. But based on what Twitter's telling me, I don't know. Have you seen the dog in George Pickens' chest? It's huge. It's huge. So that ceiling is just massive.
If I close my eyes, I can see Russell Wilson throwing a freaking bomb to Courtland Sutton.
Yeah,
and beautiful deep ball, and then there's your sell window if you want to. Shane, you don't own him, so you wouldn't be able to sell him.
Look, I've sat in a couple leagues, but I'll take Pickens, man. The sky's the limit right now for Pickens.
Pickens or DJ Moore?
DJ
Moore.
Okay, how about Pickens and a projected early 23 second or DJ Moore?
DJ Moore. DJ Moore is incredible. I'm always going to go DJ Moore over pretty much a lot of receivers.
DJ Moore.
So here's the thing, right? If I can cascade this trade, I know I can trade George Pickens probably more than I can trade DJ Moore for right now. So if I'm thinking about just accrued assets, I might take on George Pickens with the immediate knowledge that he's going right on the trade block as soon as I make that deal.
What's enough for him to produce and maintain his value?
I don't even think there's a production threshold. I think he just needs to flash and maintain the hype. That's it. He can have a 450-yard season, but if it comes in like 4 massive plays and he narcs a touchdown catch over a DB on a primetime game, like, it doesn't have to be a whole lot. I mean, think even less than Rashad Bateman last year, and it's just if the situation opens up for him at all because Kenny Pickett's good or because the offense gets better, like it's only going to go upwards. So I think he truly is one of those guys that the idea of face planning really doesn't impact him, because there's very little that could happen barring that he has like another ACL tear or something, that his value is going to go down because the community's already going to build in the excuses. They have Claypool, they have Diontae, they have Freiermuth, they have Najee, they have a bad offensive line, they have shitty quarterbacks. Like, it's not really... It's already built in. They're just going to forgive him if he doesn't produce this year, which is very interesting.
Yeah, so here's the problem, right? Like, I think in theory, yes, that sounds like that could happen. But say Chase Claypool goes out there and smashes at the big slot, right? He's a 1,100-yard receiver, and Diontae Johnson's an 1,100-yard receiver. And then Pickens is, 400, 500. But you don't see an avenue for that to increase, at least not in the immediate future, right? Because Claypool's going to be there at least another year after that, and Diontae Johnson probably another 2 years after that. And then you start to get to the point where it's like, all right, well, when's Pickens going to get his turn? And do they really like Pickens that much? Like maybe Claypool, if he hits 1,100 yards, then Pittsburgh goes, all right, well, we found our big slot, and I think we're going to just hold on to this guy. Because, Pittsburgh doesn't have a problem with utilizing 3 wide receivers. They've done it in the past, Tomlin, and they'll do it in the future if it wins. So I do think there's a level that if he doesn't hit, that he'll see his value decrease. Now, I say that knowing that Kadarius Toney had a game and a half last year of production and basically was almost worth a 2022 first at one point or another after those games, even after like those games were a distant memory. I say that with a little bit of like, all right, I could be wrong, but I do think there is a level that he does have to hit.
I will say this, Shane makes a great point that we've seen, quote unquote, like face planners or rookies that don't produce, that the dynasty community completely forgives them if the floodgates open up for their opportunity the next year.
Yeah,
right.
And vice versa. Devontae Smith has a 900-yard season. They bring in a better receiver and his value plummets, even though you look at his production on paper and you go, that was a great rookie year.
Yeah.
So I do think the production and what happens this year matters, but if everything looks stacked and blocked next year, it will suppress his value because people do react to what is the immediate opportunity the next year to determine like which hype players they want going into year 2. So I think Shane makes a great point that could impact his value.